not only are her books selling like hotcakes, and there may well be a revival of free market capitalist thinking and the materialistic side, putting aside the issue of her atheism. There may be a strong revival. I mean, you see it in the Tea Parties, you see it in the public opinion polls, which are rejecting all this massive government intervention by the new administration and the Congress. But you do have these various CEOs. I think we'll have some pictures of them. For example, Alan Greenspan. Now, Greenspan was actually part of Ayn Rand's collective. And if you go back and read the books, you'll see his little picture in there. He's the guy dressed in a black tie and a black suit who looks like an undertaker. But he is in all of those pictures. I might add my friend Marty Anderson, who was a top advisor to Ronald Reagan, was part of that collective. Other names coming out in a recent article, CEOs who really supported Ayn Rand. Hugh Hefner of the Playboy Empire. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, which surprises me. Thomas, a very religious man, but he still has a he's a big follower of her. Mark Cuban of the Dallas Mavericks. Now, I mentioned Whole Foods CEO John Mackey, who draws important lines where he does not agree that selfishness is a virtue. And then, let's see, John Allison, who was the former CEO of the BB&T Bank down south. He is a very strong devotee of Ayn Rand, although Mr. Allison and his bank did take $3 billion of TARP money.
I happened to have spent all day last Tuesday, with John Allison, interviewing him for my book about why he took TARP money, his whole history with Ayn Rand, which goes back decades. And let me tell you, he took TARP money because he works in a very highly regulated business, and he was forced to take TARP money. He was told that if he didn't take TARP money, that they would change the rules on his bank capital requirements, and they'd make him take TARP money. His was one of the first banks to pay back TARP money.
He could have waited for that, but he chose that over capitalism.
He could have waited. Give me a break. He's a CEO of a public company, the 12th largest bank in the United States, has 30,000 employees. He's going to let the government come in and shut him down. Jerry, just get a life. That's ridiculous. He did the right thing. And it wasn't a selfish thing. It was a pragmatic, sensible thing for the sake of his shareholders. And the reality is that Ayn Rand wrote thousands and thousands of pages of books that are crammed with all kinds of fascinating, challenging ideas. Millions of people have read them. They've picked this from them, they've picked that from them, they've benefited from some, they've ignored others. All the people at BB&T, which is headquartered in North Carolina, they're all deeply religious people who aren't enthusiastic about the atheism message of Ayn Rand, but they've nevertheless built one of the world's most successful banks based on her capitalist philosophy.